Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I wanted to kind of showcase a lot of the off-stream stuff that I've been doing. I've probably spent about 7 hours, I want to say, doing off-stream gameplay, and I honestly thought I'd do a lot less than that. I thought it would be mostly just practice stuff, and then I would do a lot more live streaming content, right? Because then I can show all of the progress. But to be honest, I'm starting to get a little bit bored of that, as well as I know that I can do better if I do it off stream. I know that I can focus harder and be a lot more consistent with what I'm trying to do. It may even help the gameplay if I'm not using up my upload speed. I don't know exactly how it has to respond with the servers because yes, it does act differently in local than in online play, and obviously I want to do it in online because then it will show up in the leaderboard, right? But that's where having to reset the game like every 30 minutes comes in, because then you want to reset it so you can remove all of the inconsistencies that start to appear. I mean, the game's inconsistent in general, but it starts to get more inconsistent the longer you play. So it's always a good idea to restart the game whenever you're playing for a while. I'd say 30 minutes if you're really trying to get some good records or do some specific things, although it's not very important if you're not doing things that are very precise, like 4 walls or getting the correct shotgun bounces, for example. But yeah, so with this video, obviously you've been seeing some good attempts that I've been recording, and some heartbreaking failures in certain ways, where I think pretty much everything that I have in clips, there might be a few outliers, but pretty much everything that you see here, I think, I might be wrong, but I think it has a failure where I get shot to hell, or a hover bounce or a thrust bounce happens, or I get a bad clip into the wall that then makes me drop off of the wall. Like, it starts wall running and then it drops and then it continues wall running. And glitches like that, which really you don't have much control over. Sometimes you do have control over it and you can feel where you could have done better, but not even joking with you guys, there are certain situations in which there's no way to prevent it. Now, on PC, this may not be the case, because if you have a good enough computer, you can have a higher frame rate, which then you have more frames of possibility to get your input on a correct time. But with only 60 frames per second, and especially the longer your game runs and you start dropping frames, not only losing server connection, but dropping frames as well, it can be really hard sometimes to actually just get a possible frame for your input to land on. Sometimes there really isn't a frame that will exist in which you could possibly do it. So a lot of the times in speedrunning, this is the case when you don't have games where you can really up the frame rate, and other problems can come in no matter what you're doing. But it's just kind of annoying, and to be honest, Black Ops 3 feels like a poorly built game in terms of speedrunning, trying to get this down. So part of the reason why I wanted to get back into doing Freerun is because I've reinvigorated myself with my passion to be good with games. I've always loved the idea of perfectionism, and taking that to video games seems like a very reasonable thing, because I'm a very competitive person, but I'm kind of small and you know, just doing things with actual muscles and stuff. I just really like the atmosphere of video games. It feels like a much more brain heavy, because I like to think that I'm an intelligent person, whereas athleticism definitely involves intelligence, don't get me wrong, but it's not the kind that I prefer. And anyways, in a lot of athletics, you don't really get very many fine dexterity movements as you do in video games, and that's something that I really do enjoy. I like the idea of reaction time and perfecting what you can do precisely with that reaction time, and that's just more so exaggerated in video games than I feel like ever does in athletics. And so anyways, where I'm going with this is the reason why I wanted to go back to Freerun, or at least a big chunk of the reason, is because I want to prove to myself that I can actually get the 124, or at least another part of me definitely just wants the 124 to happen, even if it's not by me, because that's just the advancement of a speedrun community feels nice. There's the personal level, and then there's the more global level of it. But anyways, on the more personal level, I definitely want to start doing a lot more things with perfectionism in video games. I definitely want to start doing more professional, competitive level things. Whether that means that I'm gonna try to get on competitive teams in games that I enjoy playing, like Call of Duty, even though it kind of sucks right now. Call of Duty isn't that great, but here's hoping for the next one. I mean, Sledgehammer, they really did a good job with Advanced Warfare, especially considering that it's the first Call of Duty that was so fast-paced as that, as well as Sledgehammer's first Call of Duty, and they really just slammed it with their engine for it as well. It's super smooth. They used it in Modern Warfare Remastered, so I'm really hoping, and I think it's very, very reasonable to say that there's a very good shot at making a great Call of Duty game for the next one. So we'll have to see if I like the idea of trying competitive again for that. But then also, speedrunning really appeals to me, and depending on what games come out in the future, I'm gonna be looking out for those and trying to do speedrun type things as well, or other certain challenges within games that require perfectionism. And I've kind of gotten on a lot of tangents here. My initial idea for this video would be to explain things that have been happening with the game, but you guys can see the gameplays going on and everything that I've been able to do. Obviously, these are highlights, they're not the norm, but as time goes on and I'm getting my muscle memory back and my logic back for this game, and I'm relearning it, I am getting much more consistent at doing these things that you're seeing right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if I get a new record very soon and a 124 shortly after. Maybe it's right away, a 124, but honestly, I think just going for a new record alone is the first step. I want to make sure that I feel comfortable with just getting a record again, and so that I don't panic when I'm on pace for a 124, right? I don't normally have too much problems with controlling my emotions with these things, but there's always some level of anxiety that comes through, right? So I think just getting a record will set my mind at ease, and even if it's just barely better than right now, that'll be very helpful going forward, trying to get the 124, and then I'll either stop or continue. Those are the only two options, but I'll probably at least try. I'll try out the other Freerun maps once the 124 is achieved. I'll try it, I'll give it a good shot. I won't just outright disregard it, even if I don't want to do it. But we'll just have to wait and see if I do want to continue Freerun or not. However, either way, I definitely want to start performing at higher levels, doing much more specific perfectionism things in video games, and I think that's where my channel is headed. In the past, I've been trying to change my personality, trying to make it more geared towards being entertaining and fun, and you know, it's just not me, or at least not to do it in a very exciting way, right? I feel like for me it comes out more through ambition and passion and the things that I care about and taking things seriously. And through that it can be fun and entertaining, just in a less exciting way sometimes. And I feel like, honestly, trying to make myself more exciting has diminished my passion for certain things in video games. And I really want to reclaim that passion. And so that's what I've been trying to do with Freerun. That's my goal here, and hopefully I can convert that forward into the future, whether I continue doing a bit more Freerun or moving on to other games. And honestly, I really have Rocket League to thank for bringing back my passion, because it was a great platform for both trying to be fun and exciting, and to keep my perfectionism going. And honestly, I'm probably going to be putting a lot of effort into making Rocket League content, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I know that it's not a lot of your guys' cup of tea, but, you know, give it a chance. Give Rocket League a chance. I'll try to edit it in a way to which everyone can enjoy. But, yeah, I definitely plan on playing that, at least for the time being. In the near future, I am open to suggestions for other games as well. But yeah, that about does it for this. I think this is enough time to show everything that I wanted to show. It might be too much, but if that's the case, I am sorry for making this so long of a video. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.